Thanks, Donna. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and letting us talk about Husky wrestling here a little bit. Want to offer a congrats and a big thank you to some of the fall sports really providing some momentum for us with men's soccer in the top 20 in the country, and obviously Coach Hammock and the boys doing what they're doing in the MAC. So really creating a good ball of energy for us heading into these winter sports. So exciting times at NIU. But for us, coming off a successful campaign last year where we had 5 national qualifiers, which is great for us, just shy of our record of 6. Finished top 30 in the country, came back from the national championships with an All-American at 184 in Britt Wilson. He was also the outstanding wrestler of the MAC championship as he won his title. And then we also had our first Elite 90 award winner for NIU in NIU's history, which means Mason Kaufman, our 174-pounder, he had the highest GPA at the national tournament. So very proud of his efforts. The other guys that qualified were Bryce West at 133, Anthony Chaloni at 149, and Isaac Olenek at 165, and they are all returning, so we're very excited about that. So strong group of core returners, brought in about 13 newcomers, so a lot of energy in the room, a lot of new variety of partners, things like that. Everybody's pushing each other, so the preseason has been going very well. Now we're in our regular season. Over the last couple weeks, competition in the room has amped up, culminating with tonight's final red and black wrestle-off event. So that's 7 p.m. tonight in the Convocation Center, free admission. We've got 9 matches, 8 of whom competitors are all local guys. So I'm sure many of people in the area know who some of these competitors are. So that's our first initial event at home. Then we're going to break off next week, go out to the Michigan State Open on November 6th, which is one of the best open tournaments in the country. Hopefully build our national credentials there in terms of our resume. And then we open up at home on December 18th, and that's versus Kent State and Harper Community College. So we're hoping everybody can come out to those events. On top of that, guys, we've got a very competitive schedule. We're going to host several nationally ranked teams in Oklahoma's coming to town. We're going to go compete against Northwestern, Purdue, fly down to Little Rock, wrestle them in Cal Poly. So just a breadth of competition, both regionally and nationally, that should prepare us very well for this year's national championships. Anybody have any questions? Yes. Yeah, Mason's journey has been, pretty unique. So 2 years ago, he was a 157-pounder. So to jump from 157 to 174 in itself is a monumental task, and he did that with grace and with ease. And to not only do that and make the weight cut, quote-unquote, easier, but to really succeed and have performance at that weight class was amazing. So it just speaks to his character and the way he does things. He did that very well. The weight was quality weight. Really opened up his energy in terms of competition, and then to balance that with his 4.0 in a very tough major and field of study was really impressive. And again, for him to be taking post-grad classes, those kind of things, and ultimately want to be into med school, we couldn't find a better leader in terms of an academic and student athlete, for these younger guys coming in.
Having guys like Britt Wilson, Isaac Olenek come in with high expectations, that's kind of, now the expectations for the whole program are kind of high. How is that driven people during the offseason?
It's momentum. Everybody's, like you said, we want the expectations to be higher. Our expectations are not only in the Mid-American Conference, but at the national level. We've always talked about that, and now for us to bring home some of those national accolades just kind of sets that guidepost that this is how it's done. Guys like Britt Wilson, the way he approaches his daily training, the way his mentality is through a win, through a loss, the way he comes into that room to get better every single day, that leads the way for everybody on the team. And a guy like Isaac Olenek, who, yes, he has opened a lot of eyes in the last couple years, so he's one of the most competitive individuals we've ever had the pleasure to coach, so I know his expectations are incredibly high. And again, it's going to be very interesting this year because with the eligibility waivers people have gotten, we've got student athletes that are coming back, wrestlers that have been coming back. So this past their eligibility, which should have been. So this year's national tournament is going to be more packed than it ever has been. So I think to get on the stand and to do things at the national level this year are going to be even that much more special.
You mentioned, the extra year eligibility because of
Yeah, we're still very careful with all those things, right? I mean, cleanliness, hygiene, all those kind of things with our mats, with the way we train is always at an all-time high. I think that has changed forever for the good. But what's really been pleasurable is that we've been able to get on the mats a lot earlier this year, right? We could be in there this summer, we could be in there this fall, when last fall we were trying to find areas out in the open where we could just get in our stance and move around. So we've had a lot more opportunity to get better this fall than we had in the past.
And then you mentioned 13 newcomers. Are there any that have stood out in preseason workouts that you can see a lot of this year?
Yeah, I'd say typically with the freshmen, we like to redshirt guys, right, and send them to open tournaments and let them develop. But if I was going to name a few, I mean, these guys are, very smart, hardworking individuals as a group. But we've got a transfer that came in from Harper Community College named Tulga Zumbayan. He was a junior college national champion at 157. He's impressed us with his work ethic and his focus. So it'll be interesting to see him compete tonight. And then Blake West, I think, is another to mention. He was a couple-time state champ and a very highly touted recruit out of Minnesota. So he'll be looking to take the reins at 125 eventually in his career, and he's competing tonight as well.
Anything else for Coach Ludwig?
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.